All right, this is week 3 of Star Wars month. Seth, happy Star Wars month to you.
Happy Star Wars month to you.
So we got one more to do after this one, and oh my God,
Thursday can't get here soon enough, man.
I swear to God, I am so ready for the Rise of Skywalker, and I have avoided. This is the week, like they're gonna start posting more and more clips and spoilers. Yep. This is the week I'm on basically media lockdown. Because if I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see it, I just skip right through it, or I swear to God, I'll report you.
Anything Star Wars, I just go right by.
I'll be like, this is hate speech. They're ruining Star Wars. But today we are doing episode 7 and episode 8 of Star Wars. There will be no spin-off movies during Star Wars month. Absolutely
not at all.
No, we're sticking to the Skywalker series. So this is the Press Play Podcast. Thank you all for listening. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/podcast Press Play. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and everything in between. Basically, any main podcast hosting site, we are there. Or at least I try to make sure that we are. So we're going to start with episode 7. Now, this movie comes right after a couple, what was it, like maybe 10 years after the prequels.
Yeah.
And I was seriously, I had reservations.
I didn't know what to expect.
I didn't either. But I remember that first trailer came out because they announced they were going to do a new one and everyone was coming back. And I saw the trailer, and at the end of the trailer, you had Han Solo saying that the Force, the Jedi, all of it, it's real. Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I remember, I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. The prequels, damn all that. This is a Star Wars movie that we've deserved. At least that's what I thought.
That was my first and biggest takeaway from watching Force Awakens in the theater, was that this felt like a Star Wars film. It sounded like Star Wars. The prequels, yeah, the imagery's there. You got lightsabers and Jedi and bad guys and space battles, but there was something missing, and it was soul.
There was also, things that were put into the prequels that didn't need to be there, like politics.
Right.
You keep that out of Star Wars. That's not what this is about. You can have politics all the live long day in Star Trek, but, I mean, because they have the whole Starfleet and all that. This is not what Star Wars is. It's not a political debate where people just sit around in a council and talk, which is what they do a lot in the prequels.
Yes, they do.
They just sit in a circle and talk. There's none of that. And, man, I remember when... I love that the trailer, they tricked you. Because
yes, they did. All the marketing tricked you.
And I was fine with that because they didn't trick you in a bad way.
No.
They misled you into your own headcanon. And I was totally fine with that.
So was I.
And we'll get into that as we get into the movie. So first thing I want to say is this movie starts off very well.
They come out shooting, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
In every sense of the word.
That's another thing. This movie is dark.
Yeah.
Because I was watching it over the weekend, I'm like, God damn, they just killed an entire village, let alone they blew up a planet in the first movie, but you didn't see everybody. You didn't see a soul.
You didn't hear
people
saw screaming.
Yeah. This movie is great. And you get awesome force powers with Kylo Ren, who is a wonderful villain in this movie.
He's my new favorite Star Wars character. I love this guy.
And I say in this one, we'll get into why he kind of slipped in the second movie. But in just this movie, Kylo Ren was awesome. A perfect Darth Vader replacement to me. I loved him 100%. I don't know. I can't. In Force Awakens, there's nothing I hated about Kylo Ren. He was wonderful.
No, because he has to keep himself angry at all times to keep being seduced by the light. And I love that they did that with this.
Yes.
Is that you're trying to? He's being seduced by the good side of the Force. You've never heard that before.
No, because and they don't even explain why, but I don't care. For some reason, he idolizes Darth Vader. Why is that? I don't know, because his uncle is a Jedi legend and his grandfather is a Sith legend. I don't understand why he chose to do that, and I don't care. At all, because you see him talking to Darth Vader's helmet for guidance. Obviously, this is obviously we're dealing with a crazy person.
Yeah, exactly, we are.
And that's
this
totally
guy's
fine.
got some issues, man. Needs to pump the brakes a little bit.
And so many of these characters are awesome. Like, they introduce also in the first sequence Poe Dameron, and they say, "Oh, I didn't know we had the best starfighter pilot in the rebellion." And when they say that about Darth Vader, it doesn't really hold up because of the prequels. But in this movie, that statement is 100% true, because this is some of the best.
It pays off.
This is some of the best X-wing fighting I've ever seen in my life. Poe is amazing when he's flying halfway through the movie, because you think he's dead, and then he shows up to save everybody, and he's just taking out X or TIE fighters left and right. It was gorgeous.
It was exciting.
It was very exciting. It was so cool. And then you meet Finn, who I 100% love this character.
So do I.
In this movie.
Yeah.
Just
in this movie.
In this movie, because you understand his motivations from the beginning. Before you even see his face, you know exactly what he's about.
Exactly.
This is what Star Wars should have always been. This should just been like, I really wish the prequels never existed, because it was a hump that we had to get over to get to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like we had to endure them.
Also, but
as penance to have these movies be. And I mean, say what you want to about them. I know these movies are divisive to be, to say the least.
They absolutely the first one is divisive because a lot of people were just saying that it was it was A New Hope all over again. But there's
tropes of it, but again, that's the hero's journey.
Exactly.
It's the same story over and over and over again. Just because you have an old mentor and a young out of place fish out of water character like Rey.
Yeah, there's always going to be, the unexpected hero that has to basically, accept their destiny or whatever.
Right.
It's been done a million times outside of Star Wars. So people can just get over that. But what really got me was, oh my God, did they really build another Death Star? Are you kidding me?
They did.
I had no problem with the First Order.
Are they that single-minded?
Seriously, man. And this isn't even the Empire again, but it basically is.
It basically is, yeah.
And I don't mind that there's this evil Empire again, but did you have to build the exact same weapon? Come on.
I don't know if anyone knows how to make a bigger threat in the galaxy than we're going to blow up your planet. Well,
like I said in the last review, in the books, there are so many other weapons that just put the Death Star to shame. And they're probably never going to get into that. Because even in Last Jedi, there's no Death Star, but they have this basically ship at the beginning of the thing that's called like a dreadnought, which you've never seen. It basically does the same thing. But they take it out immediately in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Just get it out of here. I don't want this movie to be like all the others where there's a big weapon that we've got to take down, and that's fine with that. That's not the problem.
Empire
in the second
wasn't
movie.
like that though.
There
was no big weapon. It was a big chase.
Pretty much, and that's pretty much what Last Jedi was, to be honest.
Yeah,
with
it
you.
is a big chase.
But so And I also understand, because like, why does Rey have to be from a desert planet? Like, that is just overwhelmingly, like, I can't believe you did that. There are so many other planets in the universe, and you put her on, you can call it whatever you want. Tatooine, Jakku, they're the same goddamn thing.
Well, I think it's because, like, on the Outer Rim planets, I think that they're all, like, desolate. That's why no one ever goes out there but scum.
Right.
They go out there to hide. So it's like a representation of nothingness and emptiness, and you're alone, and so I don't know.
It's the last place you'd ever meet a would-be hero.
Right.
Which is fine, but it doesn't have to be a desert, is what I'm saying. It could be you could have
a frozen planet. It could have been.
You could have another forest moon, but you don't call it indoor. Just don't. She could be from the forest, and she knows how to survive in the woods. That'd be cool too, I guess. But I did like that she was a junker, and you get to see all these gigantic star destroyers that are just basically the war's over.
Yeah.
So the star destroyers are very large, so it makes sense that after 20 or 30 years, they're still picking them apart.
Oh, of course.
Because an average Star Destroyer is, I even Googled it before this podcast, an average Star Destroyer is at least a mile long.
Yeah, and the big Carillion ships, the Vader ship was like
a super
10
Star
miles
Destroyer,
long.
yeah. But that wasn't. You didn't see one of those. It was just all Star Destroyers and or camel walkers and crap like that. But I don't. There's not a lot about The Force Awakens that I hate. Just things that I can nitpick. A lot of them are similarities because I just immediately thought like, okay, did you just decide to take what worked about A New Hope and then just put it in this movie? Because it seems like a lot of what made Force Awakens so good is what made A New Hope so good. But I do love a lot of things that are different about it.
I understand why this movie was written the way it was, though, is because Star Wars hadn't been in everybody's good graces for a long time. Even the fans were like, "No, that's all we're getting." Huh?
And not everybody was watching the Clone Wars cartoons, which were still on at the time. I wasn't watching them.
So when they announced this movie and who's writing it, I'm like, they're going to go safe.
And that's totally fine to do.
They kind of had to.
You had no choice.
Yeah.
You basically had to make a movie that made everybody hopeful again.
You had to make a movie that reminded everyone what Star Wars is.
Yes.
It's a big, dumb adventure. And I love them.
And it
should be a good time to watch, and this movie's a good time.
It really is. I think I've watched Force Awakens since its release. I've probably watched it about maybe 4 or 5 times more than Last Jedi. I've watched Last Jedi a few times, but just take however many times I watched Last Jedi, multiply it by like 4 or 5, and that's how many times I've watched Force Awakens. Because it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is. And
it's got a lot of great moments, whether they're fun or not, that are just amazing, like the very end, which we'll get to. But what I like about this movie is it doesn't wait. About halfway through the movie, there's no big reveal about who Kylo Ren is. They're hinting at it at the very beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And Snoke just pretty much says it. It's like, your dad, Han Solo, is with the droid. Wait, and they don't even like build up to it. Like, wait, what did you just say? They didn't at all.
He just said it.
Yeah, he just said it like it was like no big deal. Like they've had this conversation already. Like, yeah, your dad's Han Solo. Well, this is the first time I'm hearing it, so treat it with some respect. But they don't, and I appreciate that because who cares?
Yeah,
nobody cares. No,
you have that also creates an interesting dynamic between everybody.
Yeah,
when you know. And they all know.
Yeah, that's another good point. And I like that it was treated that way and not like some big reveal in Empire, because then I would think, okay, now you're just doing this all over again.
Yeah.
If it's it was so casual, I appreciated it more. Mm-hmm. And I do love that for about a good 3/4 of the movie, Kylo Ren has his mask on, and then you see him, and he's just like this. He's almost a wuss.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, he's not scarred or burned.
No, he's not wearing it because he needs it.
He's doing it as a tribute to his grandfather.
Yeah, well, it's cosplay.
Pretty much. And I do love, at the beginning, you see his lightsaber, which is very different from anything we've ever seen.
Yeah. Because we needed that.
Yeah, it's almost as if his crystal is broken almost, or fractured, or it's just unstable.
Yeah.
Which is
a perfect representation of his character. He's completely unstable.
And when you get you get a very good look at his lightsaber when him and Han are both holding it, it looks like a piece of crap.
Yes, it does.
It does not look well put together at all.
Because he wasn't fully trained. He just went the easy way.
Exactly. Speaks volumes about his character. But what I love about his character as well is that he is what Anakin Skywalker should have been the entire time. Because when he gets mad, everyone knows it and everyone is afraid.
Yeah.
But when Anakin got upset, people were laughing at him in my theater. He was whiny and bitchy, but Kylo didn't throw a hissy fit like just throwing out, "Oh, it's not fair." No, he just broke shit. That's all he did. He didn't say a word. He just started thrashing.
Yeah, when he had that tantrum in the control room, and just started thrashing on the wall, and the dude's just standing there like he's like, "Anything else?" And he tells him
there was a girl.
And he just brings him to it. He's ruthless.
Yes, but he's also
He uses fear.
But he can back it up because at the very beginning you see him block that blaster with the Force, which
that is the coolest use of the Force ever.
We saw this movie together.
Yeah,
and I remember I might have jumped. I didn't jump out of my seat, but I was like, "Oh my god, that is so cool!"
I said "holy shit" loud.
Yes,
I couldn't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, because Darth Vader just like kind of blocked it and absorbed it with his hand. No, he just stopped it in midair. I didn't even know you could do that.
I didn't either. He just did it. He doesn't even give a shit. He just did it.
That's what also makes these two movies better than the prequels, is that they're expanding what the Force is capable of without it being silly.
Yeah.
Like Force speed is one thing when you see it in the Phantom Menace
for 1 second.
For 1 second, but this, when he did that, I thought, oh, we're gonna get to see some really cool stuff.
Yeah, and the mind torture was a very cool addition to the Force as well.
Exactly, and especially when you see it the first time when he's using it on Poe, and then later when he's using it on Rey. You realize that crap goes both ways.
Yeah.
Which I was 100% down with, even though I did think, like, I'll get into it now, I thought it was a little bit too easy for Rey to come into her Force powers.
I don't. Force powers have always come easy.
Yeah, but I understand, like, she was resisting and then she kind of found out that she could also read his mind because she wasn't doing it on purpose. She was just trying to resist and she somehow got into his mind. But later on in the snow, when she pulls the lightsaber toward her during the fight, I thought, I'm not sure, like, I'll quote Han, that's not how the Force works. I don't think you can just do that.
All this is established, though. All the problems that people have with Rey, you're told this shit in the movie. You're shown it. The fact that she's good at fighting. You see her fighting with a staff. There's no way that she's not going to be able to pick up a lightsaber and use it.
That's true, but the fact that she pulled it towards her with her mind.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
She is... How quick she is at repairing things and how she was able to fly the Millennium Falcon so quickly. You see her picking apart a Star Destroyer. She's probably been doing that her entire life. Of course she knows how this shit works. She's good at what she does.
Well, she was also born and raised there, so I'm pretty sure she's flown I'm sure she's flown before, just not gone anywhere because you know, she works for these people.
But she tells Maz Kanata that there has always been something there. She just doesn't know what it is. And when Kylo goes into her mind and she's able to resist, she starts to figure out, I can use this too. But she doesn't know what it is.
She knows what it is at the very end when he's got her, basically, like he's got her, he's like, you don't know what the Force can do, let me teach you. And then she just goes, the Force? That's what this is? That's when she figures out what it is, and that's fine. But that scene where she figures out the Force, that's after she pulls it towards her. I get what you're saying. I'm just thinking...
She's also heard all these... She thought Luke Skywalker was a legend. So she's heard all these stories of Jedi. Pulling things to them and using their mind. She just was mimicking what she heard, and it worked.
I suppose. But that's neither here nor there.
She's not a Mary Sue Internet. She's not.
No, what? Who's saying that? Idiots, probably. But this is what I'm saying where the trailer got us because, you do see Finn with a lightsaber, and everybody's like, oh, he's the next Jedi Knight. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
That's where when I saw that, when we were sitting in the theater, and it turns out to be Rey who's the actual Jedi, I was like, you got me. And I was totally happy with that. I didn't care one way or the other who it was going to be.
No.
Because I thought it would be kind of cool. Oh, this guy's a stormtrooper, but he's also force sensitive because they don't deal in clones anymore. Right. They basically abduct children and brainwash them, which
is pretty freaking evil.
It's so dark. And you get, I do like the way that their first order is set up because there's parallels. Obviously, you've got Snoke, who's basically the Emperor again, but Kylo Ren is not basically second in command. He has to share that power with General Hux. And I like I like Hux. I really do.
I love his performance.
Oh God, it's so hammy, but it's so good.
It's so good.
Like he hams it up, and it's so much fun. Like he's not winning any Best Actor awards, but he's so much fun.
Yeah, he's having a good time out there, and I appreciate that.
And I'm trying to think. Okay, so I remember when there were two major times in this film where, and we were in the audience, where the audience erupted in applause, and that was the first time you saw the Millennium Falcon, because they're running and they're like, you don't see it, and like that ship's garbage, and then their other ship gets blown up. Okay, that ship will do, and then they pan away, and it's the Millennium Falcon. Crowd lost it.
Yeah, they did.
And then the second time is when Han Solo and Chewbacca show up on screen. Oh my God, that was great.
It was almost comforting to see them in a way.
Well, we knew they were going to be in the film, but just the way they show up is amazing. Now, there are parts of the movie I find are unnecessary. Like immediately after they show up, they do this whole battle on the ship that they're on, and the giant monsters that they're hauling.
Oh, the Rathtars?
Yes, completely unnecessary for me.
I could have done with it. Mentioning them, fine. Yeah, he's hauling big, dangerous animals, but couldn't we have had a big gunfight between the two gangs and Han Solo and Chewie? And
yeah, it was like
that would have been fun.
It was like maybe 15 or 20 minutes of unnecessariness.
Yeah,
especially when it really proves there's no point to it whatsoever, other than
the padded runtime.
Yeah, pretty much. Which this movie's already almost like over 2 hours. I don't care.
And have a stupid Star Wars action set piece.
Yeah, this that whole scene was just to sell more Legos, but and then there's so many unanswered questions though that I have that I don't feel like I'm ever going to get answered. Like, why does Maz Kanata have Luke's lightsaber? And they even ask, where did you get that? A good question
for another time.
No
movie.
No,
you can't do that.
How about cut the Rathtar scene and you explain it now? Because last time I saw that lightsaber, it was on Cloud City falling into an abyss.
Well, that's Abrams' little mystery box thing that he fucking does.
But it's stupid. It's like, I mean,
yeah, that annoyed me.
I appreciate that it's there, but you could have spent 10 seconds. 10 seconds. You could have said, one of my regulars tried to trade it in here. I don't know. Something. And she knew what it was, so she took it and kept it away. Because she even says, she's not of the Force, but she's very well versed in what it is. She's not Yoda, but she knows what the Force is,
right.
Which is why she would have kept it. Just say that, yeah, one of my regulars came in and tried to trade it for drinks, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, give it here. And then I'll just put it in this box, and then nothing will ever happen.
But no, just adding this arbitrary mysticism to it.
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
That still has not paid off.
No, not at all. And I don't think it ever will.
No, this is probably going to be a throwaway line.
Probably. But one character I do love in this film is, well, besides, Kylo Ren, we've already talked about him, but I'll talk about him more later. I love Finn because he is so great in his story in this movie, because all he wants to do is get away from the First Order. He is terrified of this organization. Like
it has every reason to be.
Yeah, because he says over and over again, he tries to convince Rey to run away. There is no fighting. There's only death. We need to run. And he only cares about Rey. That is it. No one else.
Yep. Lies about what he knows about the base just to go down there to get her. Yeah,
and then squares off with Kylo Ren. He's like, that lightsaber belongs to me. Come and get it.
I love that. I love that line.
I know, I do too. And okay, so God, I gotta talk about this.
And gets his ass handed to him.
Well, he does all right for a little while.
He does all right, but he's completely outclassed.
He would have been if Kylo Ren was not injured, but he did okay for a while, and then I don't know. But I think I loved Finn's fight with Ren more than Rey's. because Finn's fight was more emotional, I feel like. Rey was fighting more to survive. Finn was fighting for Rey. So I enjoyed it more. But, yeah, speaking of Kylo being injured, oh boy. You want to talk
he should be dead.
Yeah, you want to talk about a grown man crying in a theater? Oh my God. So, I remember in the theater, I was saying to myself, don't you do it. Don't you fucking do it. I swear to God. And they hint to it so much in that 5 minutes. Because if you notice, Kylo's face is red, Han's is blue when they're talking. Mm-hmm. And then the sun starts to go out, and it just... And I love the cinematography here. Because as soon as he grabs the lightsaber and tries to help Ren, the sun is going away, and it just fades, and there's just that light on them. And as soon as the sun is gone, then you see the red lightsaber go through him. And I thought, motherfucker! Oh!
Yeah,
oh my God!
Everyone in that theater knew it was coming, and we were all still shocked.
Shocked? Oh my God, I was heartbroken.
Yeah, me too. I didn't want him to die, but he had to.
Oh, I know he advocated to kill himself in the original trilogy, but this is the best send-off he could have possibly had. Oh my God, I was watching it the other day, and I
still get chills whenever he yells his name across the bridge.
Ben! Yes. And this is why I love Chewie, because in that second you hear Chewie lose his mind, doesn't hesitate to shoot Kylo Ren.
He tries to kill him.
Knowing full well who that is.
Yep.
Not a single person can convince me otherwise that Chewbacca does not know that is Ben Skywalker.
Of course he knows.
Ben Solo. Of course he knows. And he didn't hesitate. He's like, no, you just killed my friend. I don't care whose kid you are.
Yeah.
And we already know how we're shown several times how powerful that crossbow is.
It is well established how powerful that weapon is. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the fact that
it blows people backwards.
Yes. And the fact that it hit him in the side and he didn't move.
He just dropped to his knees.
Yeah. And he got back up. That is a testament to both of those characters.
Yeah.
To Chewbacca and Ben. Kylo Ren. Yes. I from here on out, I'll never call him Ben again, because we talked about this once before. The very first YouTube episode we ever did, we talked about this film, and I'll say it again, and I know you agree with me. I do not want Kylo Ren to be redeemed.
At all.
Because you pussied out and gave Darth Vader a redemption when he did not deserve it. Do not redeem Kylo Ren. At the end of Rise of Skywalker, he had better be dead.
Yeah. Or on the run, at least. He better not be a good guy.
No. And they tried to pull that shit in Last Jedi, where they're like, okay, well, maybe Kylo's going to turn to the light side. No. I don't want that. I want a bad guy who gets his comeuppance. I don't want redemption for him because he killed Han Solo.
He doesn't deserve to live.
No.
There's no redeeming that. He killed his own damn father.
Exactly. But Anakin kills younglings and women and children, but he gets to be redeemed. No, I don't think you understand how this works. Ben is a bad guy now. He is Kylo Ren. There's no redemption, and I don't want to see it, because then you're basically saying that, oh, all you got to do is do one thing nice, and then you're forgiven, and you get into heaven, and you get to be a Force ghost. No. What we see in the trailer of the Rise of Skywalker is Rey and Kylo Ren fighting all over the place. One of them had better be victorious, and the other one had better be dead.
Yes.
Because there's no overarching, there's no character arc.
I actually don't care which.
I don't care which either. There's no character arc for Kylo Ren. There really isn't. He's a bad guy trying his hardest to be a bad guy. Let him go out the way bad guys do.
Yeah.
Dead.
Happy being bad.
Yes, he's trying so hard to be, like, he's tortured by the light. Who's tortured by good? That's not a thing.
Emo kids.
Seriously. So basically you're saying that, oh, he's tortured by the good side, but if he gives into the good, then he'll be just fine. No, fuck him.
Right in the ear.
Yeah, don't care. I don't want Kylo Ren to be redeemed. I said it. A lot of people are like, oh, he'll probably turn good. Well, let's get into Last Jedi because they try to go that route, but I like that they don't. There's one moment
you're supposed to think it, but I don't think that was ever when he finally reveals what his true beliefs are. That's never what he was about. He wasn't trying to go good. Kill it all. Fuck it all. Let it all die. We'll start our own thing.
And but I'm talking about at the second where he kills Snoke, I thought, this son of a bitch, don't you dare do that to me. And then they fight together, and then it was all a ploy. Like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right, you want to be the Emperor in charge? You be the Emperor in charge. That's fine. Get rid of the guy in charge, and then you take his place. That's one thing I liked about Last Jedi is this movie is very divisive, even more so than the other one because
by far.
Because people argue that it's a great movie, people argue that it's garbage. I think it's somewhere in between. It has great moments, but also a lot of bad moments.
I think this is a good movie with some very stupid shit in it.
I agree. I think it has great moments. But I also think there's a lot of moments in between the good moments that I'm like, oh, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get into that. But this is another film. I loved how it started with Poe, just showing up to the Star Destroyer and just basically being a dick.
Oh, dude! Up until they introduce Finn in this film is wonderful.
I 100% agree because they start with a space battle. That is a lot of fun to watch. Not like Revenge of the Sith, which is just cluttered and hard to tell what's going on. No, I know exactly what's going on in this space battle because, it's not hard. It's not cluttered.
You can tell who's who.
Yes. One thing I was by the way, I was watching Last Jedi, and for some reason, I turned on just a little bit of Revenge of the Sith. Don't ask me why I did it, but I'm like, how come the prequels, everything looks all sleek and really cool and shiny, but they forget that in the original trilogy, everything looks really clunky and bad. I like that in this new series, they keep it that way.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm just thinking, why did everything get downgraded in between Sith and A New Hope? It's just weird.
It's because Lucas forgot what he wrote.
It's just so weird to see that how everything looks all cool and futuristic, and then when you get to the prequels, everything looks just boxy and just really old.
Because it makes it look more believable.
Yeah, but it's still funny because I'm watching it like these ships make no sense. When 20 years in the future, they're not going to look like that.
No,
it's crazy to me. So. Yeah, but one thing that I noticed about Last Jedi, that opening battle, is so they're trying to take down this dreadnought, which is like a fleet destroyer or whatever, and you've got these bomber ships, which is weird because I don't know why it's weird to me, but it is that they just have these ships full of bombs, and then you open the hatch and they just drop. That's not how space works.
Well, you can't bank and do barrel rolls in space either. So
that's. Yeah, I know, but it's just weird. Like, I'm pretty sure they don't understand gravity. You know what I mean? Unless there's a gravity field, and once they get off or out of the ship, then they just keep going in the trajectory that they're
thinking about this too hard. Your eyes are going to cross.
I know. My forehead's about to explode. Okay,
it's just an Air Force battle. That's all it is.
All right, fine.
It's all it's ever meant to be. It's just an Air Force battle in space.
And then
it doesn't have to make sense.
And then after Finn wakes up, I understand he's the same person. He's like, "Where's Rey?" And then we see Rey is in the exact same spot we left her. So basically, this movie picks up literally seconds after The Force Awakens takes place, which I was 100% okay with.
Yep.
Because all the other movies, years go by. Mm-hmm. I like that this movie takes place right directly after Force Awakens. Totally fine. And then we get, this is where people are really divided. We get Luke Skywalker back.
Yep. I like the direction that they took with his character.
I do as well. A lot of people, this is their argument. That is not Luke Skywalker. That is not what he would do. Well, understand that 30 years have passed. All this shit happened to him. He's done. He tried and failed. He tried to bring the Jedi back, and he failed miserably, got his students killed.
With bringing the Jedi back also brought back the dark side.
Yeah, so he understands that if the Jedi are done, then that's balanced. The Sith will go away. Everything, the galaxy will just take care of itself.
Yep.
I understand what he's saying.
That's why he throws the lightsaber away.
He doesn't want to get involved in this again. The last students he tried to teach all died. He feels like a failure. Mm-hmm. Let him be. He even says, "Why do you think I came to the most unfindable place in the universe?"
Yeah, go away. You're wasting your time here. But the think that it's unrealistic for someone to go through that kind of trauma would not be this extreme and
that's
remove
ridiculous.
himself from the Force, and I mean that's really believable.
Of course it is, and it's ridiculous that people think otherwise. It's like, I don't know if you. I know that. Well, I know you. This is just you. Just want Luke Skywalker to be the way that you want him. Your headcanon's not going to live up to whatever you might think because you're not a filmmaker.
And that's the problem with this movie. The problem that people have with this movie is it doesn't live up to their little theories.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. And when people talk to me about the way that Luke trains her and everything that happens on the island, I asked them, "What did you want this to be? Dagobah all over again?" Then you complain about that.
That's exactly what they would do because they already complained that The Force Awakens was just like A New Hope. If you want the same thing that you got in Empire, you just complain about that. They do the same thing, they complain. They do their own thing, they complain. There's really no pleasing Star Wars fans.
No, and that's one of the reasons I really like this film is because it goes in a different direction. It subverts your expectations the same way Empire did. Empire is a completely different movie from Star Wars. Completely. And then you look at The Last Jedi and Force Awakens. They are two completely different films. They go in very different directions. You are introduced to astral projection force power, which is pretty freaking awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just everything about this movie is about failure. It's about not living up to expectations and finding your own way. That's what this movie was all about. Yeah, there's some things about it that are really stupid, and I will absolutely agree with you on that.
But I think anything to do with Kylo, Rey, and Luke
is phenomenal.
I don't hate those at all because you don't know yet, but you see that they're force projecting in front of each other, and Kylo Ren even says, "This cannot possibly be you. The strain would tear you apart." Because he knows what it is, and he doesn't even try it. Yeah, he doesn't even try it. So you're wondering what you think it's the Force bringing them together, which is a wonderful thing that it's actually.
Yeah, he even comes to that conclusion. Why is the Force bringing us together?
Yeah, and Rey falls for it as well, trying to think that there's goodness in him. That's why the Force is bringing us together. No, it's Snoke trying to get you to him. I love his plan.
Yeah,
I do, and I do not really care that I have no idea who this person is.
Guess who else you don't know who it is?
The Emperor. Yeah. When the Empire and Jedi came out, you didn't know who this fucker was either.
Killing him off is
great.
Is this movie's way of saying he's not the threat.
Yeah.
This other guy is. The guy that just killed him, he's your real threat.
Yeah, Snoke, people want to know who he was. Why? He's not the problem.
He's not the problem.
He's not the villain. He never was the villain.
He was just an ominous being.
Yeah. Why do you need to know about him when Kylo Ren's the one that they're going to focus on?
Yep.
Which is wonderful. I swear to God, when I saw Last Jedi in the theater and they killed Snoke, I thought, oh, that was cool.
Yeah, it was.
And I had no questions when I left the theater. I didn't care.
I didn't want to know.
And there's a reason I didn't care is because I love the fact that Kylo Ren is now in charge. They were building to that the entire time.
Yes,
Why do you need to know who this person was? He was a stepping stone. I don't know who General Hux is. He's still around.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about him either.
He's just an angry ginger. That's all.
Do you want to know where Captain Phasma came from too?
We'll get all of those in the upcoming series on Disney Plus.
We better not. Because I don't care about Captain Phasma either. She's just there. That's all they are. They're just there. to serve the purpose of the main characters.
Yes, you have main characters for a reason. Not everybody has to have a backstory.
No, absolutely.
So see, and that's not real film criticism. That's just whiny fanboy bitching.
Yeah, because what it does is that it completely ignores your own headcanon again, because when you see Snoke in Force Awakens, everybody had a theory. Most people are like, oh, that's probably Darth Plagueis.
Why does it have to be?
Well, another question. What does that matter to these characters? Even Luke and Leia have no earthly idea who Darth Plagueis even was.
Right.
It means nothing to these characters, so it means nothing for him to be anyone.
So he might as well just be some guy.
Exactly, because if he was Darth Plagueis, it would mean just as much to these characters now as it does when you know nothing about him. So that's why people were upset. They wanted this big reveal, just like with Rey's parents, and they didn't get what they wanted. And we talk about this constantly.
Yep.
When people found out that Rey is an absolute nobody, they lost it. Why does she? I thought she was going to be like Obi-Wan's lost granddaughter or Luke's kid. Why does everyone have to be related?
They don't have to be. That's
this is a galaxy.
They're trying to say something about the Force.
Exactly, because you have Kylo Ren, who is now the big bad in charge, whose parents were complete legends in the Force, and then you have Rey, who is nobody. That is what the Force is. It's random. It always has been.
Completely random who's sensitive to it.
Yeah, yes, sure. If you're born into it, because your family was also sensitive, we've seen that before with Anakin and Luke and now Ben.
Yeah.
But the Force can 100% attach itself to somebody whose parents are complete nobodies. And that's what's beautiful about it. It makes a better storyline for Kylo and Rey.
Dude, when he said they were nobody, I was so relieved they went that way.
So was I. Because in the Crystal Cave, where she's like, show me my parents, and you get nothing.
Yep.
The movie tells you to fuck off.
Pretty much. So stop worrying about things that don't matter to a story. If she's Obi-Wan's daughter, what does that do for anyone other than for you to say, "Yoo-hoo, I was right"? That's all it is. It doesn't. That's not
nothing.
how you tell a story.
No, it means
that's
nothing.
What Lucas does when he writes prequels. He just mentions shit.
Yeah, everyone in this universe is related when Lucas writes the script, because when Lucas writes the script, the bounty hunter that we're tracking, that's Jango Fett's dad, or that's Boba Fett's dad. How cool is that? It's not.
It's not cool.
It's not cool. It's stupid.
I mean and people don't understand why they're complaining about it. It's just because it's different from what they thought it would be.
Yeah.
Except with it's a movie, folks. And it doesn't do it in a bad way.
There's a difference between fan service, like in Force Awakens when Finn accidentally turns on the chessboard and she was like, huh? And then there's a difference between that and pandering.
Yeah.
Which is what Boba Fett and Jango Fett was. That was bullshit pandering.
Yes, it was.
And that's why people got upset in this one when they're like, oh, wait, I thought Rey was going to be, I don't know, Mon Mothma's granddaughter. No, nobody in this, not everybody in this universe has to be related. This is a galaxy. This isn't Alabama.
You just think outside the box a bit and realize that this is a galaxy.
Yes. And if you have theories, that's fine, but they're just theories, just conjectures.
Yes.
Don't get upset when they're wrong.
It's okay if they're wrong. I'd rather be wrong.
Yeah, because if I'm wrong, then I guessed it right.
How boring and disappointed would you be if you went to this last movie and can guess everything that's going to happen?
That's not telling a story. That's just that's predictable. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, you're being guided through a tour.
They're holding your hand. Yeah.
I've been here for the third time in my head.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that it came out exactly like I thought it would.
Yeah, you're not watching a film anymore. You're a guest at Disneyland.
Yes.
They're just holding your hand and you're going through the lines. I don't care. Nobody cares. So, all right, now that screaming match is over.
Let's talk about the actual problems with this movie.
Okay.
Because it does have them.
Now, one problem that a lot of people have, I don't have a problem with Laura Dern's character as Admiral Holdo.
No, I don't either.
I thought, okay, because when this movie was made, Carrie Fisher passed away. So I thought she could be a decent replacement for Leia. Mm-hmm. And she didn't do too bad, except for the fact that your plan is stupid. And I don't mean the actual plan that's set in motion. Your plan to not tell anyone
is dumb.
Yeah,
you don't tell anyone?
You basically let Poe lead a mutiny against you because you didn't tell him what the plan was. That's on you.
It is. And she didn't tell him out of spite.
Yeah, basically. And it made no sense. Like,
please tell him.
Yeah, once he draws guns on you, it's like, hey, I'm taking over. Wait a minute. Before you do that, this is what Leia said. But okay.
Then he'd be like, "Oh,
so
I'm sorry."
So that was dumb. That was a poor decision. It was just stupid suspense.
Yeah, that paid off to nothing.
Absolutely nothing at all. You know, the fact that it didn't really. It was just suspense for the sense of it being there. There's already suspense because you're being chased by the Empire and you're running out of gas. Which, by the way, how are you running out of gas? When did gas become a thing?
In Star Wars, I don't think I've ever seen it used.
I'm sure.
I don't think I've ever heard it mentioned.
I'm trying to think. Maybe in The Mandalorian he talks about fuel, but I don't remember fuel being an issue ever.
Just this time.
Yeah,
So they could go really slow and...
Yeah, I'm 90% sure in the original trilogy, I don't hear them mention fuel at all.
No, which, again, that's a gripe with me. That's just kind of a nitpick. Yeah, okay, so they run on gas. I don't like when people try to give me fiction facts.
Oh, what do you mean?
You know what I'm talking about? They try to make up these science laws that are supposed to be like that ship can't just go through all those other ships at light speed. That's ludicrous. No, guess what? It's a movie.
Okay. So you're talking about the Holdo maneuver.
Yes.
Where last ditch effort, she flies a ship at light speed and takes out many Star Destroyers and half of Snoke's ship. Granted, one of the most beautiful scenes in the entire movie.
Yes, it is.
I love that it was completely silent.
It looked cool as hell.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, oh, that shouldn't happen? What are you talking about?
Well, this
is a fantasy world.
Yeah, and for me, I'm a bit...
She shouldn't have been able to turn around out there either, but
I'm on both sides of the fence when it comes to this because I love it, and I understand... I don't understand people's gripe about it because, that should never have happened. Why? Just because we've never seen it before doesn't mean that it can't happen.
Yeah.
But B, this changes the way space battles are going to go for the rest of this of this movie because basically, we got any spare ships lying around? We do? Cool. Pop a droid in there, hit him at light speed, blow that shit up, let's go get drinks. Battle's over.
Battle's over now.
Yeah, because, that's what I would do from now on.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, just enough with the fiction facts. I can't. No, stop. It's a movie.
It's a movie. I didn't hate it.
It was cool to see.
And
it makes sense within the context. Oh, you're supposed to be able to see cool stuff in Star Wars. None of it's real.
No.
You don't have to make sense of it.
Also,
except when it comes to story and how things are portrayed.
But it kind of does make sense when you think about what light speed actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that 100, and it kind of does make sense because you hit light speed you hit something that quickly, it's going to obliterate it.
Yes, it will.
That's just straight up science.
It would destroy you.
Yes. So, and one thing that I hate about this movie, and it is a person that leads into a scene. I hate Rose. I do not. Okay, listen to me.
I don't particularly care for her character either.
All right, but listen to me. If you're out there right now, did you know that people hated Rose so much that they bullied the actress who played her out of social media?
And that's reprehensible.
That is embarrassing. I am ashamed of those people.
Absolutely.
You call yourself Star Wars fans and you bully an actress so badly that she leaves Instagram and Twitter?
It's horrible.
You're not a Star Wars fan. You're a hater.
It made me ashamed to be associated with people like that.
Yeah. Let the lady. Granted, her character is not. I have nothing against her as a person.
No,
it's the character that I don't care for.
She didn't write it.
Yeah, she
was told what to do.
Yeah, blame the writers and Rian Johnson or whoever. You people are that was despicable.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the lowest of low. Just trash acts that way.
Yeah, like the Attack of the Clones was the lowest point right up until that.
Yeah, pretty much.
You people are embarrassing.
You guys are worse than Attack of the Clones.
So we meet Rose, and then they go to Canto Bight, which is the most pointless scene I think I can think of in Star Wars.
I got to have made something to eat when that came on.
Yeah. I don't care for it at all. It's so pointless.
Because nothing comes of it.
Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing.
Actually, the only thing it does is set up a fight between Finn and Phasma. That's the only thing it does.
That's it, because they've got Benicio del Toro on board, and when he's on screen, I love the way he talks. Just for some, I love Benicio del Toro as an actor.
Oh yeah, me too.
So when he's on screen, I enjoy it. But the whole once they leave Canto Bight, I'm back in because they've got him. They're on the ship. But when they're on Canto Bight, I'm tuned out. Because
the movie just it seems out of place.
It does, dude. The opening crawl moves faster than this scene.
Yeah, I don't want a side quest.
I don't either, and I don't mind.
And it could have been in a cooler setting. It could
have been a cooler setting. Also, could have taken a lot less time, but we had to have these giant CGI dog donkeys running through a city, which was stupid and looked horrible.
Yeah, I didn't care
and
that they were freed.
Yeah.
I had. Oh yeah, that's intrinsically sad to see an animal being tortured. Of course, you're gonna feel bad for it.
Yeah,
but that's called manipulation.
Yeah, I don't care. Not to mention, there weren't any really decent lines in that scene. Like I can think of two, and I only know them because they make me cringe. Just Rose, like, I wish I could put my whole fist through this beautiful, lousy, stinking town or what. I'm like, that's stupid. I hate that line with everything in my body. And then the other line, it was like, as soon as they get done, like, Finn's like, it was worth it, though, to tear up that town, make them hurt. Shut up! Shut up!
Oh, and then she takes the saddle off the donkey pig and...
Yeah, it's so dumb.
No, now it's worth it. That's almost as bad as...
I don't like sand.
We Are the Flash.
I don't like sand. It's rough and coarse.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah, that scene, that line is actually better than the other two in Canto Bight that we just mentioned, because at least that one, I understand why Anakin is saying these things.
I don't think that Rose was necessary for Finn to have her around, really.
No, it was just another love interest that they jammed down our throat for no reason.
And she wasn't even really that. I mean, when she kissed him at the end, he was like, "Why did you just do that?"
Yeah, like Finn and Poe have more chemistry than you two. And she completely ruins Finn's awesome moment.
Yeah.
Because they've got this gigantic, basically
a battering ram,
and Finn's like, the only way to destroy it is through the center. And that's what he's going to do. And you're like, okay, if this is where Finn's going out, I am 100% okay with that. I was down because they tease you for like 30 seconds.
Because now he's fighting for something other than Rey.
Exactly.
He's fighting for a cause, but...
And then she stole that from us.
See, here's the thing with that whole sequence is I don't like that it's there at all.
I don't either.
Because why put him in that situation if you're just going to take it away and it wouldn't have mattered anyway?
And it didn't pay off at all because it only led to a line like, we're not going to win this war by destroying what we hate, but by saving what we love. Like, wait, you're in love? No, what? Shut the fuck up. No, you're not. That was, and then she kissed him, and he was just like visually confused.
Visually confused.
What? Excuse me? What do you mean you're in love?
When she hit him out of the way, I was like, oh, really? Really?
And I would like to point out that the way that she hit him, I'm like, now they're both dead.
Exactly.
No, they're totally fine.
Her decision made absolutely zero sense.
No, but her collision made less sense. Like, you both should be dead. And so they break through the door, and then this is my favorite scene in the entire movie. Luke Skywalker.
Oh yes, astral projection, Luke Skywalker.
And I should have seen it coming. I should have known that he wasn't really there, but I didn't.
Because he looks younger. He
shaved.
Yeah.
Got his haircut.
And he has a lightsaber.
He has his blue one.
He has his blue one.
Oh, damn! I didn't think about that.
And he's not leaving red footprints.
I didn't notice that. But I even in the theater, I thought, okay, this is going to be good. I didn't even question where did that lightsaber come from.
No, nobody did.
Not one time did I think, wait, that was just broken in the last scene. Like Rey and Kylo Ren broke it. I didn't care. Did not care at all, because this is when Kylo Ren's rage really comes out, because he's got like a dozen bigger camels than before. These things are huge.
Yeah, they walk on their knuckles. You notice that?
They're so goddamn big, and he's like, focus every gun we have on that man. And then they just blow the shit up, and he just brushes it off. That was funny.
Yeah.
I loved that.
When Kylo's just sitting there going, more. It's just going nuts up there. You think you got him.
And then I love the fight scene. It wasn't quick, but as soon as you saw Kylo cut through him, again, I wasn't thinking. I'm like, oh shit, he got him. Wait. Oh no, wait, he's good. Whoo. Okay, Luke Skywalker's alive. And then you find out that he's force projecting across the galaxy, and then he just disappears. Like, oh shit, damn it, I thought you were gonna make it. God damn it.
I was cool with how we ended.
I was too. But one thing, oh man, I can't believe I forgot this. This is the bit.
Because how would he have gotten there anyway?
That's good, yeah.
Because X-Wing was submerged.
Well, it was submerged on Dagobah, and they brought it out of the water.
Yeah, for a couple of days. It's probably been there for 20 years.
Well, we don't know how they work. In Star Wars, I don't give a shit how things work. They just do. I can't believe I forgot to bring this up. Yoda's in this movie.
Yes, he is.
And
the just right amount of Yoda, too.
And he looks exactly like he should. They got that puppet back, apparently, because that...
No, that's not the original puppet. Look at them both.
Well, I don't care. He looks better. Great. He looks great.
Yeah.
But I do love that... I'm of the belief that Yoda knew that Rey stole the books, which is why he lit the tree on fire.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to tell Luke. He's like, but he was...
because the Jedi, they're not exactly honest with people.
No, not even each other. But he's like, you read them, have you? Not really page turners. Everything Rey needs to know, she has with her. Like, yeah, because she stole the books, dipshit. But I love Yoda in that role, and it was, you're right, just the right amount of Yoda.
Yep.
It couldn't have been Obi-Wan, but because,
it makes more sense it was Yoda.
Yeah, and it would make no sense if you had what is his name?
Hayden?
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. No, that would have made sense.
It would have made no sense if you'd have had... Well, it would have made sense if the special editions had anything to say about it if you had Hayden Christensen, because they put him... Which pissed me off. But I did love Yoda in that. And if you're not paying attention, you miss the fact that she stole the books, because you see them for like a half a second when she's trying to put...
At the end of the movie.
Yeah. And I love that. So, there's one other thing that I hate. And that is Leia's little force.
I was just about to bring this up.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't hate the idea. I loathe the execution.
Oh, 100%. Because
having her fly back to the ship, I mean, it's not that she's able to use the force. It looks silly.
Yes.
It didn't look cool.
Because it's not unbelievable that she can use the force, because in The Force Awakens, when Han dies, they cut straight to her.
Yeah, and she could feel it.
She felt it, and she almost lost it. But if you're going to have force-sensitive Leia in this movie, don't already have her in the vacuum of space, because that makes no sense.
No. But I've always said, too, wouldn't it have been... You convey the same point had she been holding shit together?
Yeah.
That would have looked cooler. It would have shown how powerful she really is.
Or maybe, I don't know, there's so many ways you could have done it. Like, she could have taken the controls of one of the TIE fighters and make it crash into the other one. That would have been cool, but the way they gave it to us was bullshit.
It just looked dumb.
It didn't look dumb. It sounds dumb on paper.
It does. Leia flies back to the ship. What?
From where? From deep space? No, I don't think you know how space works.
Well, granted, but still. I don't know. There was, like you said, a million other ways to show that.
Yeah.
And they picked the stupid one.
That they did.
I would have rather heard conjured up a blanket of Ewoks.
Oh, that'd have
been more satisfying to me.
That would have been terrible. Or, I don't know, have her block the laser. Or the missile that's coming at them. Take control of that.
That would have been very cool.
Just, see, a million different ways off the top of our heads.
Make the tension that she's struggling.
Yes.
And she finally pulls it off.
Yeah, because she's not Luke. She would probably have to struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
But
a million different ways to show it, and they picked the dumb one.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this one.
The humor in this film is out of place.
It's silly.
Well, they put it in places that it doesn't belong.
Yeah, I think Force Awakens... Well, I do love at the beginning when he's fucking with Hux and he's trying to distract him. He's like, I have a message for Hux. And he's like, can you hear me? It's from his mom. That was fine.
Yeah.
I think Force Awakens had better humor, especially when you've got, Finn, who's completely oblivious, like, we'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works. And you had Han Solo, who you can give comedic lines to because he's Han Solo. He did it in the original trilogy. He was a funny guy. But this one is just weird in different places.
And I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on. It's not that the jokes aren't funny. That's not what I'm saying. They're out of context. They don't belong where they bring you out of the tension. They bring you out of the scene. It's the wrong kind of humor.
Yeah. It's not like there's a timing thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the time for that. But other than that, I don't really have anything else on Last Jedi.
No. I like a lot of it, actually.
I like it just fine. There are parts that I will skip just to get to the next good thing. Like, I'm 100% skipping Canto Bight.
But yeah, there's a lot of this movie that I do enjoy.
Yeah, there's one line in this movie that it's cheesy and stupid, but I 100% love it. It's right when Finn beats Captain Phasma and she's about to fall, she's like, "You were always scum, rebel scum." Oh, that was cool. That was a cool line.
It was.
That was.
Then she falls into her. Wait, she might be coming back because she might not really be. No, she's dead. Please let her be dead. I hope she's dead.
I don't care if she is or not.
I think she's gonna come back and be like, "Oh yay, she didn't really die. Who gives a fuck?"
Yeah, there's something about that armor. I mean, it deflects blasters, so maybe it can protect you from falling into an incinerator. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I doubt it. I don't need her back. I don't care. But I'm not getting into theories about Rise of Skywalker. That's not what we do. We deal in fact.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the fact of the matter is, I am excited for this film.
I am too, and
for a lot of different reasons, and the main one is that it's the end of something that I never thought I'd see this ending. You know what I mean?
I thought Jedi was the true ending to this.
Yeah.
The Return of the Jedi, because they gave us prequels, which is one thing, but the Skywalker story ended at Return of the Jedi. But no, it doesn't. So, yeah, that is amazing. So if we go see this together, and the music starts, and you see the word Star Wars, and you see a tear come out of my eye, mind your own fucking business, okay? Don't even look at me.
No, this I totally probably will cry during this movie.
I remember crying during the Force Awakens crawl. I'm like, Star Wars is back, man. This is great. I didn't cry, but I was definitely I was heavily emotional.
Yeah.
And then when Han Solo died, oh god, I was a wreck.
I just want a blast of a film. I want this to go out with a bang.
Yes.
a strong high note.
I don't want them doing what they did in Jedi and just trying to tie things up. Like, no, you had 3 movies to tell us this story. Wrap it up. Don't waste time like they did in Jedi with 30 minutes of the movie dedicated to rescuing Han Solo that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Get to the point, and let's end this the right way. And I think if anyone can do it, it's J.J. Abrams.
I've got faith in him. I mean, my God, the man brought back Star Trek and Star Wars.
Yeah, and he did very well with both of those things.
Yes, he did.
So bringing this to an end, I'm not worried about if I'm going to enjoy the film, because every Star Wars movie I've ever seen, I enjoyed when I got out of the theater. Granted, the prequels were bad. I still enjoyed myself.
Right.
But this one has more weight to it.
Yes, it does. And I'm hoping that it has the emotional impact that it should.
Yes, because
I hope it hits all the right notes.
I don't care if they do what Endgame did, Avengers Endgame, and spent like 20 minutes after the final battle just wrapping everything up, because the last 20 minutes, it's burying Tony Stark and everyone saying their goodbyes.
Yeah.
If you want to dedicate 20 minutes of this film to that, you go right ahead, because this is the last I'm going to see of any of these characters, so let me say my goodbyes.
Exactly.
Give me that. Don't just end the film. Like, no, I want to see... I want that satisfaction.
No, I think we're in for a good time.
I think so,
really
too.
do.
And that is what we're going to be covering next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So get your tickets, because next week is Rise of Skywalker and the end of Star Wars month. Oh, I don't think I'm ready for this to be over.
I'm not either.
I have no problem with them putting out movie after movie that I'll never see, but an end to this story, I don't know if I'm emotionally ready.
We'll get you through it.
All right, well,